Hello everyone, welcome to Study ETech. Half wave controlled rectifier with RL load. With respect to the previous circuit, keeping everything same, we have just introduced L in this circuit. And we are now analyzing what will happen with the effect of L. Well, the usual things every time I may not mention, but you should know that the input-output voltage notations are this. And this is a voltage across the thyristor and gate, anode and cathode. Okay, so it can have two states. One is the switch is open and the switch is closed. Here we are going to draw the input voltage. We are triggering the thyristor at some point alpha and 2 pi plus alpha. All right, now making a grid something like this, we can say here we will draw the output voltage, here the output current, and later on we will draw the voltage across the thyristor. So in the segment 0 to alpha, the equivalent circuit is this one because the thyristor is not triggered. So if the thyristor is not triggered, then we will get the equivalent circuit is this one with the output voltage is 0. Alright, so we get the output voltage 0 and subsequently the output current is also 0. Alright, now when we trigger the device at the alpha point, suddenly the equivalent circuit becomes this one. So this input positive and negative appears here. Alright, so we will get the output voltage which is exactly equal to the input voltage. Look, the little bit of drawing, they will be same, right? They will be same. And now what will be the current? That is the interesting thing. Because of the inductance, when at the alpha point the switch is suddenly closed, current can instantaneously cannot be equal to something, this value which was earlier in the case of resistance. Now the current will gradually increase, right? So we say that the current will gradually increase, then it will decrease, and it will reach the max value in between pi by 2 to pi. Okay, so here the current will be somewhere, it will be maximum. In case of resistance and inductance, the maximum value cannot be equal to at pi. The reason is that pretty simple. Think in terms of diode. If there is diode and if there is a pure inductance, right, so the output voltage is equal to input voltage, and which is equal to L di dt, all right, according to this circuit. So if this is so, what we can say, in the positive half cycle, meaning here in the positive half cycle, we get a little bit of drawing is required. This is the input voltage, alright. So the output voltage and the input voltage, they will be same, right? And if the input voltage is equal to output voltage, because no other resistance is there, then input voltage and output voltages are same, alright. Now what will be the current? Let's see, in the positive half cycle, the current should increase, right? At least we get this concept that if this voltage is positive and negative, current should increase. And we see at this point, the input voltage is 0. So this is equal to 0. And L cannot be 0. So di dt must be equal to 0. Mathematically, look at the point pi, but before pi the current is increasing, and at the point pi the voltage is 0. L cannot be 0, so di dt has to be 0. So it will have a positive peak here at the point pi. Right after this point pi, this voltage becomes negative. So definitely from here we can say the current should decrease, and again at the point 2 pi the voltage is 0. So the decreasing current will reach the negative peak. Alright, this will be the profile of the current. So if this is true, in case of, we have seen in earlier that in case of resistance only, the Vmax reaches at pi by 2, right? And in case of pure inductance, the max value or the peak value reaches at pi. So in case of, if we give some resistance here, R and L, so the max value will reach somewhere in between pi by 2 to pi. Alright, now we see here at the point pi, the current is not 0. Voltage has become 0, but current is not 0. Once the current is not 0, so we cannot say the thyristor will be off here. So thyristor will continue to conduct. So if the thyristor continues to conduct until the current becomes 0 or below the holding current, we will get the current flow something like this, meaning the inductor is now discharging. Right after this peak, the inductor is discharging through the source. Okay, so this point, let us say beta. So at the beta point, till the beta point, the equivalent circuit is this one. And now the polarity right after this pi, the polarity has become negative and positive. And this negative polarity will appear here, positive polarity will appear here, and the output voltage will be having a negative swing till this pi point is reached. We call this to be negative swing. The negative swing will be more if the inductance value is more, because in that case it will have more lagging or more, delaying current we will get, and we will get the more negative swing. So this will be the voltage across the thyristor, voltage across the load and the current at the load. And the same thing will happen here in the negative half cycle also. Alright, the same things will happen here. Now the portion where thyristor is not conducting, we will get the output voltage. This is quite similar to the previous video. And now instead of from pi, we will get the output voltages from beta. Alright, so from beta. So this will be the output voltages, the voltage across the thyristor. Now one thing we can observe from here, that is, as the inductance increases, current become continuous. The point is that the current has to be continuous, alright, because this sort of conductions are called the discontinuous conduction, and discontinuous conductions are not appreciated. We need a continuous conduction. Continuous conduction means there will be no zero duration of the current. Well, so these are the discontinuous conduction. But if we increase the L value, the current will be more flat, meaning current is going to be continuous, so which is our required. But as the L increases, current becomes continuous. That is good thing. But subsequently, the negative swings are increasing, meaning VO average is decreasing, because the positive area and the negative area, this negative area will cancel out this positive area. Subsequently the average voltage will decrease. Alright, the area cannot be negative itself by magnitude, but with negative voltage, that's, imagine the average is decreasing. So how to solve this problem? We will discuss this in the next class. What technique can be adopted to get rid of this problem? Well, but somehow this is a problem. Alright, okay, so this circuit will have some mathematical analysis. We will do the mathematical analysis now. Okay, so the mathematical analysis is this one. The equivalent circuit is Vi equal to the output voltage. Alright, so let me start from here. Vm sin omega t equal to R into it plus L into dit dt. Voltage across the inductor, voltage across resistance equal to the voltage, the input voltage, right? So with this equation again, let me write Vm sin omega t equal to R into IT plus L dit dt, right? This is a differential equation. Okay, so in this differential equation the solution will look like this: the transient state plus the steady state. This is actually every differential equation has this form, and the transient portion is actually the source free equation, R into IT plus L dit dt equal to 0, source free state, and this will have the solution IT equal to ITT. Actually this is a transient portion, and A into e to the power t by tau or L by R, and the steady state, the IST, this portion will have the voltage divided by root over R square plus omega L square, the impedance, into sine omega t minus phi. Okay, the phi will be actually tan inverse of omega L by R, and the complete solution will be IT equal to Vm by this portion R square plus omega L whole square into sine omega t minus phi plus A into e to the power t by L by R. Alright, so this is a unknown. To find this A value, we can have this thing: this current is equal to 0 when omega t equal to alpha. Just by putting this, we get boundary condition IT equal to 0 when omega t equal to alpha. Just putting this value 0 equal to Vm by root over R square plus omega L square sine alpha minus phi plus A into e to the power t by L by R, right? So from here, just by manipulating the value of t, we will get here A equal to minus Vm by root over R square plus omega L whole square into sine alpha minus phi e to the power R alpha by omega L. Just putting the value t equal to alpha by omega, because omega t equal to alpha. Okay, so this is a, just by putting this value, we will get the equation to be IT equal to Vm by R square plus omega L whole square into sine omega t minus phi minus Vm by root over R square plus omega L whole square into sine alpha minus phi into e to the power minus R by omega L into omega t minus alpha. Just by little bit of manipulation is required to get this form. So this is very big equation, you don't need to worry about it. So now the current at the point beta, omega t equal to beta, again IT equal to 0. So beta can be derived from here, omega t equal to beta, and IT equal to 0. From here beta can be calculated. Alright, so once the beta is known, we can calculate the average voltages. Alright, so the average voltage will be VO average will be 1 by 2 pi alpha to beta Vm sin omega t d of omega t, and the simplification will be Vm by 2 pi cos alpha minus cos beta. Okay, this is the average output voltage, and the current average will be IO average will be VO average divided by R, right? Similarly, the RMS voltages can also be calculated 1 by 2 pi into alpha to beta Vm square sin square omega t d of omega t and to the power half. So these are the mathematical analysis for half wave controlled rectifier with inductive load, resistive inductive load. Hope you liked the video. Keep watching, keep building up the concepts. Well, one small request again from us, please subscribe to our channel and share among your friends. Thank you. See you in the next lecture.